Why don't we, everybody here? Okay, why don't we call the meeting to order. Let me read a statement, a customary statement. Pursuant to the Massachusetts Open Meeting Law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made whether perceived or unperceived by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. We are also aware that this meeting is being recorded by Fall River Educational TV. That being said, let's take roll call attendance. Start with you, John. Johnny Erickson.
Present.
All right. Joan Medeiros.
Here.
Ann Keene.
Here.
Luis.
Here.
Here. And Joe Marshall here. And also with us is our attorney, John Coughlin. Right, John?
Yes.
You're here, okay. All right. First item on the agenda is the open session minutes from June 17th of 2020 and July 8th. You've had those emailed to you. You have those. Are there any questions, any additions, deletions, discussion? None?
None.
Hearing none, is there a motion to accept them?
None.
A motion to accept.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay. You've also received the warrants and financial report. You've had a chance to take a look at those. Is there any discussion, any questions, anything that comes to mind that requires some immediate attention? No?
No.
No? We've had a long enough. Is there a motion to approve the warrants and the financial report?
A motion to approve the warrant dated August 19th, 2020.
Thank you. Second to that? Second, John. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, so moved. Next is the update on the city pier. I'm going to ask John Erickson, who has been very busy, but also he's really done a good job coordinating efforts on the city pier. So I'm going to ask John, would you mind kind of bringing us all up to date on what's going on at the city pier?
Hopefully you can hear me okay.
Yeah.
So the second round of drawings came out about 2 weeks ago. They're calling those 10% design drawings. And they have quite a bit more information on them than the previous set. So I did give a copy of these to Glenn Hathaway in Inspectional Services, and he initially agreed with everything that we showed. There's a few dimensional things we need to clean up, so we're good there. The next step with the railings, which is the first thing we're trying to get going, is get a spec out in the next few weeks so that we can get the bidders on board and get that going. The second part of this is our two reports that Beta Environmental will be filing the first week in, they'll be turning them over to us the first week in September, and that they are called the modification of existing risk-based cleanup to the EPA, and then the RAM plan modification for the DEP. So we should receive those the first week in September, and they'll be forwarded on to those two agencies. And that's pretty much where we're at.
Any questions? No? Okay, thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is an update on the search for executive director. I'm pleased to say it stopped, the search has stopped as of August 14th, which was, as it was noted online. We've used Indeed, and we received 57 applications from all over the country from Indeed. And then we also had 5 other mailed-in resumes and applications. So it closed on the 14th. Joan Medeiros and myself will sift through those applications, take the ones that actually meet the qualifications, and then deal with those. And we'll probably do that within the next week or so.
Yeah.
Okay?
Agreed.
All right. Any questions on that? Because we don't talk about that, okay. So that, our plan is to still work toward getting a qualified executive director as soon as possible. Number 6 is proposed amendment to the land disposition agreement with Robert Mungin regarding parcels F and H Plan Book 157, page 79 at Innovation Way. Did you want to
Yes.
address the board if you don't
Thank you,
mind,
Mr.
Bob?
Chairman.
No, thank you.
For the record, Attorney Thomas Killoran, law office is at 350 North Main Street in Fall River, Massachusetts. I represent the ultimate end developer, TPG Management Construction. With me tonight is Nick Giacobbe from that group. So again, a lot of this project and what's transpired may have predated a lot of the members on this board, but ultimately this is property that is located in Freetown, Massachusetts, but under the purview of the Redevelopment Authority. There was a land disposition agreement entered into. It's been amended 6 times, with the last amendment being that Mr. Mungin could permit or seek permits for approval for this one building here, which is going to be utilized as a gas convenience store and have a satellite Dunkin' Donuts located within it as well. The concept plan that was approved on the 6th Amendment also showed a second building, but the 6th Amendment specifically said that regardless of the fact that that building is shown on the concept plan, the board wasn't giving any approval with regard to that second building. Ultimately, what the developer would like to do is to construct not only what I'll call the gas station building, but 2 outbuildings as well, or accessory buildings as well. We do not have an end user for those buildings, but we're going to the town of Freetown. We're going to need to get site plan approval as well as a number of special permits from them. What we would like to do, rather than having to go back to them in the future, is get the site permitted in accordance with this plan, showing all the buildings, all the parking, all the drainage, the road lay or interior drive aisles approved by Freetown. Ultimately, when they find tenants for building 2 and building 3, we'd have to first come back before the Redevelopment Authority and seek your approval for those tenants. But what we didn't want to have to do is just get this permitted through Freetown, then later on, if we find a tenant here, go back to Freetown, get your permission first for that tenant, then go back to Freetown, amend the site plan approval, amend the special permit. We just want to kill, the permitting process with Freetown all at once, but obviously understanding that we would need to come back before this board in order to get approval for whoever's going to occupy these 2 other buildings. So we put together, with the help of Attorney Coughlin, a 7th amendment to the LDA, which effectively, attaches this plan as the concept plan and authorizes us to go before Freetown and permit it as shown on this plan. Again, the LDA amendment would specifically state, that we've got to come back before this board when we find tenants for these other buildings.
Mhm. Have you gotten the approval already from Freetown? No.
No,
Okay.
So we submitted an initial site plan review. We've got initial comments back from the town's consulting engineer. They stated that we need to apply for permits, special permits. So we're going to file those, but before we did that, we wanted to come before this board and get your permission first to move forward with this plan. So, Freetown has also kind of been in a holding pattern in terms of their planning board meetings. So we really haven't had much progress with them at all.
Okay, we have this listed to discuss in executive session.
So the board can do a couple of things. You can ask whatever questions you want
Yeah.
now. We do have an executive session on the agenda if the board wants to discuss this internally later on, and then make a vote and make a decision.
Yeah.
So we can do it either way. I've got it in both sections, so we have the flexibility of handling it either way.
Yeah.
But if we go into executive session, the other side, Attorney Couloir and his client, don't come in with us, we'd be alone at that point.
That's correct.
Right.
So any questions
Any
we want to
questions
ask,
should be
we
now.
would have to do that.
So you're not building to suit right now. What your plan is to build and then find a tenant, no?
The plan is to get the design done,
Correct, okay.
and then we'll be able to market it to prospective tenants, and then build once we know who's going to go in there.
Okay,
But the
good.
plan is not to build these buildings,
That's right.
You're not just gonna build them and keep them empty.
Correct, that's correct.
You won't build until you
It's
have
just to get the
somebody.
permitting out of the way.
We just wanna get the
so-
permitting done, then we can market the plan, we find a specific tenant, then we come back before this board and say, this is what we wanna use this building for, and then this is what we wanna use
Okay.
this building for.
Tom,
It-
could I just say, oh, go ahead, John.
No, go ahead, Johnny.
I was just saying, in like a perfect world, what would you envision as the timeframe for this?
Timeframe in terms of the permitting?
Well, in terms of actually breaking ground, getting to that point, go.
I know Mr. Giacobbe would have liked to have been breaking ground by now. Unfortunately, things have been really slow in terms of permitting in Freetown.
Yeah.
We're hoping, once we're done here tonight, obviously, if we get the board's approval with what we're asking for, we're gonna file the special permit applications within the next couple of days, and we're hoping that they're gonna start reconvening hearings in some shape or form within the next month or so. We don't anticipate that the hearing process with Freetown's gonna take too long. Their peer review engineer's already gone through this. We're working on responding to their comments. We've had some informal meetings with the department heads there, going way back into December. They were very enthusiastic about this project. So we're anticipating that once we actually can get hearings, that it won't take that long. So maybe a couple of months till we can get our approvals from them.
Are they still in that old white house?
I'm sorry?
Is Freetown-
Yeah,
are they
yes,
still in that?
yeah, they're still in that,
They don't, like-
and they hold their planning board meetings in the hallway on the first floor in the town hall, so, it's not really conducive to social distancing and spreading out. They've been doing some, I have a hearing before the Board of Selectmen next week, and they're holding it at their outdoor pavilion on the Council on Aging building. So I'm hoping before the weather turns too bad, that the planning board will do something similar.
Good.
I have a question on the middle building, the
Yes,
second building. Is there a specific reason why it's faced sideways as opposed to the other two will be facing out?
so if I think I understand your question correctly, and if I don't, please correct me. This is so that it permits a drive-through lane here, but there will be a front facade looking out into Innovation Way, but the thought process is there is a potential user here that may require a drive-through. So we're having, this drive aisle going around.
So the face of the storefront will be facing out.
We'll be
to the
facing
street.
Innovation Way, yes,
All
yes,
face out there.
yes.
Attorney Coloran, have they commenced construction for building 1 at this site?
No, 'cause we don't have any permits in Freetown
None,
yet.
okay, I wasn't
No.
sure if this was just for 2 and 3.
No,
Thank you.
nothing's, if you went by there, the site looks today like it looked a year ago, 2 years ago.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
I assume you need us for executive session?
No,
Okay.
no, we're good.
All right, great.
No, we know what you want to do.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Yeah.
Thank you all, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Is there any other old business or new business in open session that needs to be discussed? No? If not, is there a motion to go into executive session?
I move we go proceed to executive session.
Second?
So on those motions, we're going in for two purposes.
Correct.
A and B. under-
Noted. Yeah.
So we're going under 3821A7 to approve the executive session minutes, and we're going under 3821A6 regarding two real estate projects, the Anawan Street project and the Innovation Way project that we just discussed.
Correct.
So we need a finding from the chair that having an open session would have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the public body.
Yes.
We need a roll call vote with a motion that we will not return to open session.
Okay. John? Johnny?
Yes.
Johnny Erickson, you here?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, roll call, yeah.
Yeah.
Present. Didn't see.
Joan Maderas?
Yes.
Ann?
Yes.
Luis?
Yes.
Joe Marshall? And John Coughlin. We're now in executive session. Thank you, Evan.